darlings. I'm Cognac Wellerlane, and we're here at Art-Southampton, and I'm here with Mr. Slonem, Hunt Slonem, and he's going to talk about his little speech that he will be talking about this wonderful event this afternoon. Tell my audience what this is all about, really.
Well, I just had a book come out called Bunnies on my rabbit paintings, which is one aspect of my work. I've been painting rabbits for about 35 years. I'm the sign of the rabbit in the Chinese zodiac. Bruce Helander wrote the essay for the book, and he's going to be speaking about the work and just dialoguing with me. And John Barrett, who wrote Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, did the foreword for the book.
I see. So the book is basically photographs and artwork. It's your artwork and your photographs.
The paintings are really...
Paintings are it's all done by you.
Yes,
all the art is you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that
we have a wall of paintings here with the Valentine Gallery.
Valentine, I saw that. That's truly beautiful, really. Amazing work.
I like to do them salon style, and I collect antique frames all over the country to...
Where did this fascination of bunnies come from? Was it just because you were born under that sign?
No, I'm an animal lover. I've had pet rabbits. I mostly live with birds. I have about 50 parrots in my studio in New York. And I just find rabbits endlessly fascinating. I use them a lot in my early paintings with
You're
saints.
Fascinating.
Yeah, we just were looking at little ones in her yard today, here with my friend Liliana Cavendish. And I use them as kind of my warm-up paintings. I do little 10 by 8 paintings, and I do a group of them every morning before I plunge into the bigger stuff.
To the bigger stuff. Tell my audience how many photographs, pictures, artwork
I think
in the
there's
book.
500 images of...
500 images. Wow.
I believe so, yes.
Are they all...
Glitterati Press.
Okay. Is it a combination of paintings and photographs, or is it just...
No, it's only painting.
Only painting. So all your artwork are paintings.
There's a few studio shots, but not too many.
Fascinating. You are a fascinating man. How many years did it take you to put this book together? Your whole life?
Yes.
Pretty much.
My whole life. Bruce has on one of my bunny ties. Would you like to speak to him?
Yes, tell him to come over.
Bruce.
But before we get to him, tell my audience, what's the website? Where can we go to find out more information about you and this book?
I believe my website is huntslonem.com.
Hunt, spell it.
HUNTSLONEM.com, and it's produced by Glitterati Press. And with the forward, the written part.
Now we're going to get Bruce. Give me a kiss goodbye. We'll be back in a moment, darlings. More interviews right here in the Hamptons. Keep watching. Big champagne kisses.
Tell us a little bit about where you find these things or where you look?
Auctions, stickers, and this great guy in St. Francisville called Twig Klein, who comes late about the yard. If I wouldn't pay attention, he'd leave the driveway over.
What about the frames? You know, I did want to mention one thing. All the bird frames are vintage. They're not really, they're not made like an artist makes frames. He also has pickers now, but it's a wonderful combination of a bunny painting that's brand new and fresh and contemporary, and then it's surrounded by a vintage frame that's delicate and decorative, and it's a wonderful balance between the old and the new, and I think that's one of the things that makes these bunny paintings distinctive, is that Hunt has continued, and I don't know how you do it, to find vintage frames around every picture. Going to comment on that for me?
Well, I have shows around the country. A lot of it's just in Cincinnati and Nashville and a million other places, and I go scour all the shops wherever I am. Cincinnati was a real treasure trove, as was Indianapolis, and I find these great 1870s Victorian photo portrait frames, which I have seen shows of in New
Orleans Museum as objects in themselves. Eli Wildner made the frame incredibly important today, and I'm one of the few living artists that has that kind of a relationship with frame finding and marriage making between painting and frame. There was a great tradition of that in the 19th century.
Welcome back, darlings. I'm Cognac Wellerlane, and we are here at Art-Southampton, and we're supposed to be actually hearing a talk, conversations with, and it's all about this book, Bunnies. And I'm here with this art expert. He's also a big writer. He wrote many of the essays in the book. Introduce yourself to the camera, darling.
Hi, I'm Bruce Helander, and indeed I did write the book on Hunt Slonem, or certainly the essay called Quantus Lepus.
Now, you've been pals a long time?
I met Hunt about 25 years ago when I was a young dealer starting a gallery in Worth Avenue, and I had heard about Hunt and went to see him and basically gave him his first show in Palm Beach, and then we became friends, and I've done a lot of reviews and catalogs. I curated several museum shows. The last one I think was the Coral Springs Museum. He's an extremely interesting artist to work with because he's unlike many artists who just sort of concentrate on one single thing. Hunt is excited about life in general. He's a magnificent collector of objects, which many artists, some of the best artists like Warhol were great collectors.
Yes,
Dale
they
Chihuly,
were. Yes, they
another
were.
Great, I mean, Warhol started every day collecting. But I think it's the kind of thing that where Hunt has such a great celebration of life in general, with style, with an appetite for exciting images. He has the largest studio in Manhattan, 30,000 square feet.
Wow.
It's filled with objects. He owns 2 plantations in Louisiana that is filled with his beautiful furniture and rugs. He bought the vintage governor's mansion in upstate New York, filled that with objects. So he's an artist who's not only interested in painting every day, but in collecting and leading a very exciting life. The book Bunnies is one of many, many books that have come out, but Hunt usually starts his day with something called a warm-up painting, and that is he has...
Yeah, he did talk about
yeah,
that a
he has
little
about
bit.
a dozen paintings that are already prepared, and he follows really the instincts of abstract expressionists who will do an intuitive line with speed and grace and confidence that ends up being a kind of abstract expressionist painting with narrative components. In this case, of course, images of bunnies that he draws from memory.
Yes, and he's told me that he's had love of animals his whole entire life, and bunnies happens to be one of his favorite type of animal creature.
He loves creatures. You know, when I met him 25 years ago, he was surrounded by birds in cages. Often many of those he rescues or
He
people
did
give
talk
to
about birds too.
He's interested, I mean, he's done paintings on series on butterflies, certainly birds, monkeys. Bunnies was a natural format because it's relatively easy to put it together if you have the confidence and the knowledge. And so I think this is a great book that we're going to talk about, and it's done extremely well.
Oh, I can't wait to hear what you have to say.
Well, I can't either.
Fabulous. Tell my audience where we can go to find out more information about you.
Oh my, well, you can Google BruceHelander.com.
Spell it.
I would say
Spell it. Spell it.
Helander. Also, I just finished I'm very proud of the article in the Huffington Post, which talks about Hunt Slonem, but you could also go to www.huffingtonpost.com, Bruce Helander, and you can see other reviews that are similar to the Bunnies review, including the last big review that I did at the Guggenheim on Christopher Wool.
Okay. Well, I can't wait to hear what you have to say, and I thank you very much for that wonderful
it's my
interview.
pleasure. Thank you for asking. There you go.
And
Those
we'll be
usually
back,
cost.
yes, and we'll be back in a moment, darlings, with more interviews coming up right here in the Hamptons. Big champagne kisses.
Thank you.
been a Crybaby Productions, darlings.